So, a question for you: Do you like? And I know that motivation is not necessarily a thing, but do you have something that like gets you inspired, like a go-to thing? Do you ever need it?
Um, that's a good question. Not anymore, I don't
Maybe
think.
because you get a steady diet
Yeah,
of good
there's that, but
things.
there's nothing really that um it's like I'm not training for one thing in particular. So if you have if you have a show or you have a competition or you have a game or you have something where it's crunch time and I need to perform, maybe I would still have it because I did have it when I played and I had it before and like I could listen to the motivational speech guy or what I used to do is just watch players that I liked. I would watch like highlight videos of them making really nice plays or whatever it was. Music could always do it for me, and I vividly remember getting like super fired up to go to the gym, to go to my game, to go to a practice even. And I don't really have that anymore. Like the motivation thing like we talk about all the time is it's actually kind of it bugs me when people it's nice to feel motivated. You know, it's nice to
Yep.
feel when you feel motivated
Sometimes a
and
jump start.
you're hyped up, it's nice. Like it's a good kickstart, but you don't need it. It's not necessary to have. So for me, I don't have that anymore. There's things that I can still get into more of a fired up mood, and it could be a song. It could be like when Hell's Bells comes on.
Oh, it's incredible.
That's about as close as I'll get to when I was 17, going to the gym and like just absolutely hyped to go squat or deadlift or something like that. Or before my game, if you get like the pre-game warm-up mix going in the dressing room, that was one where it wasn't necessarily the music itself, but it was just the music cued you into what was going on around you a little bit, and that would get me fired up. But to me now, it's not really there's not really a question of motivation anymore. It's more just like a habit now. So the motivation is kind of gone. There's certain times where I'm more motivated than others, obviously, but I don't get that stomach feel where it's just like, man, I'm so excited or so looking forward to doing the thing that I'm about to go do. It's pretty neutral and probably like what you said. It's you get the steady diet for so long.
Yeah, you
It's
get a
just kind
steady
of a
diet, but it's good to have a steady diet because, like we talk about, you are who you hang out with. Show me your friends. I'll show you your future.
Mhm.
So sometimes friends can be books, friends could be music, friends could be because it's what's feeding your brain, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that I do on a steady diet too, like if I watch TV, seldom I'll watch a movie because my family's there. I'll just like I think a couple weeks ago I actually said I'm just gonna watch a movie and
Yeah.
laugh, right? Like
Like as
that.
part of the group setting kind of thing, like when there's
Yeah,
people
or
around.
but
Yeah.
very seldom I'll sit there and I'll say I'm gonna watch a movie for the sake of watching a movie because that doesn't really do it for me. But what I can do is like if I do watch TV, it's either going to be something to do with sports or well, e like 30 for 30s, those ESPNs, or like I've been watching when I've been watching because I in the last 6 weeks being tired when I do watch TV, I'll watch TV now. I started reading again the other day, but I watch TV because it's like I'm brain dead, right? So what I did is I started just watching bios of boxers, and you want to just it's not about get necessarily being motivated, but it's about going. There's so many lessons in the boxing life, hockey, football, all these different things, because where people come from and stuff, right? It's almost the same story with different twists to it, but it's like I think as a player, coach, whatever, you can draw so much from that stuff, and you can just see, okay, this is. It's good to know that you think that you're having a tough time, maybe, but there was so much tougher, and you get through it if you choose to, and you fight through, and that's what it's about. It's always finding the fight. So even though not necessarily always going for this major goal like in hockey, trying to get the playoffs, make a team, and all that stuff. For us in our business, we're always trying to be the best that we can be. That's a true statement. We're always trying to be better than anybody else to the best of our abilities in a humble way, by the way, and always trying to bring out the best and always pursuing a goal and pursuing things. So I think it's important that that steady diet of seeing people fight because that's what you're in every day is a fight, right? It's not necessarily a physical contest, but it's a fight. And for me, I look at Angus, so there's another mode of inspiration there because I have goals of skating for a long period of time or long period of time for a long time for when I'm older, and doubt does creep in. Like it's really weird. Doubt does creep in. Like after 3 weeks and the back is starting to tighten up and stuff. it's like, okay, doubt does start coming in, and when doubt comes in, you reason with doubt a little bit. Maybe I'm getting a little bit old. Yeah, like 53 is a long time to be an old guy to be skating on the ice for 6 hours a day for this. Maybe I'm gonna have to slow down. But then you go and see an Angus Young or a what's his name, Mick Jagger,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're
Buzzing.
70s and
Yeah,
80s, and they're going. It's like, okay,
yeah,
maybe I'm not old, right? So
yeah,
so you draw from that inspiration a little bit, and it's cool. But then it's you don't just draw from it. There's not I don't want to say an action plan, but there's things you can do. So for example, in my case, back tightens up, knees are sore, whatever it is. Okay, so I can ignorantly go through and say I can do this till I'm 75 or 80, or I can stretch, do mobility, eat properly, continue to work out, drink lots of water, lay off the booze, da 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 da, to give yourself a fighting chance. So within the story, there's a story.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I think it turns, instead of it being like you said, there's no performance goal or anything in the same way as like a high-end athlete or a performer or whatever. We still have our own like performance metrics, you could call it, but it's not really to the same degree. But to me, it's like I don't really aim at that anymore. I kind of aim at feeling like that flow state. It's like I want to be in that as much as possible, where I'm just really engaged in what I'm doing, and like I find what I'm doing really meaningful or whatever. And a lot of things play into that. Like you need to make sure that you feel good and your body and your mind are both in the right place to be in that state. And then going after things that you care about doing to make sure that you're doing them well. Like those are the things that I use. And then my measurement is, when I was doing that, did I feel like I was really, did the time just fly by? It's kind of that. That's kind of my measure. Like getting into that, that's kind of what makes me not, I wouldn't say fired up in the same sense as, getting motivated to go play a game or whatever. But that's kind of the new frame that I have. It's like I want to be in that as much as possible because it just feels really good to be in that. And that's kind of the new goal that I have. And then, there's certain things like you said with the skating that you need to do to sustain that. And there's got to be, whether it's a body thing, whether it's a mind thing, whether it's a habit, it could be a weight goal, it could be any whatever fill in the blank of whatever you need to deliver on the thing that you're doing, if you want to keep doing it for a long time. And it'll depend on what the job is or what the task is that you want to do. Like yours is really physical, obviously, so there's going to be a lot of emphasis on doing things with your body to make sure that you're sharp. But if you're not getting inspiration or finding it from places like wherever you're looking, the concert of AC/DC or the guy that sold me the suit that I talked about last week or whatever, if you don't have enough, you know, wherewithal to pay attention and notice those things, then you don't get that little boost. And when the doubt starts to creep in, then you start going down the doubt path, and you see Angus ripping on stage, and you just say, "Oh, that's cool," instead of saying, "Well, maybe I could look at what I'm
Yeah,
doing."
maybe I
And
got more lemon or juice in the lemon.
yeah, exactly right.